Alright, today we've got another treasure chest game, and I have a few of these in the backlog. I know people do quite enjoy seeing the early level 3 tier 6s, and it does make a change from going for some of the very difficult builds I've been trying to do recently. And these treasure chest runs are so much easier since Bass was added to the game. And actually Bass was buffed so that it actually gives double experience in battle, and it increases the odds of a round like that happening where we actually end up winning, even though our team was 2 Stoats, a Mandrill, and 2 Bass. So on turn 5, we now sell the level 3 Stoat, and then we start transforming the resultant tier 3 unit to try and get a Griffin. And I think that was 3 Water of Youth and 3 fails. Now, depending on the tier 3 that you get, you can actually win turn 5 as well. But a 1-1 Porcupine is only going to trigger its ability once, so I don't think we had much chance there. And there's another Water of Youth, and we get the Griffin. So we sell Griffin, we get the level 3 treasure map, and we only have a level 1 Mandrill, so it doesn't actually really matter if you pill the Mandrill now or if you wait until the treasure chest appears. You're still only going to skip 2 turns. And of course we only have the level 1, so we need another Mandrill or maybe a Crow on the next turn to help get the level 2. I guess in theory it probably is better to actually save the Mandrill for the treasure chest, because if you pill it early, you're probably more likely to lose. I guess there's a pretty high chance that you're going to lose anyway, but yeah, getting rid of one of the pets on your team, probably something that has a 5-6 stat line, isn't going to do much for your chances of winning. Now here we end up facing this Lynx team, which initially looks like we're going to lose, but the pets spawned from the platypus actually save us and get a draw. So I think, yeah, actually having Pillbug generate free pills these days is a massive buff to the strategy as well, because you can just have it on the board, you don't have to freeze up the food shop, and we find the Crow, we get the level 2 Mandrill, and now we can break the chest and see what we're going to get. And it is going to be a level 3 Mammoth. So I'm going to sell the Duck to make sure that the Mammoth gets plus 1 HP, and then we'll sell the Beaver and hope that it hits the Mammoth as well, which it does. And Mammoth level 3 is plus 6/6 to 4 pets when it faints. And if we can get a Mushroom pretty quickly, we can of course double that. Now here we might be in a bit of trouble. I think maybe we're going to be able to scrape a tie here. Yeah, the Nyala does get knocked out by the Rhino, but it is going to be a draw. But of course, a lot of these treasure chest games end up being like this, where you get to a later turn with very poor either lives or trophies, and then you have to work very hard to claw your way back. Now, Anubis is in the shop. That could be a possibility. It's not really going to work with anything at the moment. It will work with a spider, but I would rather just fling a pet off screen rather than get rid of the hawk. But if we can level Anubis, then having it trigger the Mammoth and potentially the Nyala at the same time would be extremely strong, as we face another Anubis gamer. Their team looks like it makes a bit more sense, although the fact that we have the Nyala generating a 16/16 summon actually gets us the win. Now I think I could also take Oyster Mushroom here, probably on Nyala, because the spider, I guess there's a lot of things I could be buying and just putting it in the extra slot. You know, one of the sell pets, things like pig, you know, you could just bring a pig in for one turn and then next turn sell it for the gold recovery. Oyster Mushroom is just super strong. I'm not really sure on the best way to balance it, because I do think it is a bit suspect. As we actually match another extremely suspect pet, another Anubis gamer, and it is Flame96 playing Leviathan with Anubis. Maybe the Leviathan was just being used to help find tier 6 pets or something, I don't know, but yeah, Flame, we're watching you. So we get the level up on the Anubis. Okay, I'm not going to take it yet. I'm looking for the mushroom from the cornucopia, which we end up getting. But you can see here how good the oyster mushroom is. Just leaving the blue ringed octopus for one turn doesn't hurt us at all. whereas previously it would be a complete passenger in the battle. And actually all of the buffs there missed the dolphin. I don't think it would have made any difference, but kind of unusual to see that. So now we'll take the alpaca. Okay, that's the reason we kept the Anubis, because we're going to use the alpaca to try and shortcut our way to level 3. Is there anything I could steal with the angler? Not really sure I want any of those things, but maybe I'm going to take it anyway. I think maybe I should just take the platypus for one turn and get the gold back next turn. And yeah, I think I'm probably about to make a mistake, because actually taking the platypus doesn't make any sense, because next turn, if I want to sell it, it will waste the alpaca trigger. So that was definitely a mistake. I should have just taken the leopard or the Quetzal. I guess Quetzal wouldn't do anything, so I should have just taken the leopard. I've been seeing quite a lot of teams using this new unit. I guess it's Andrew Sarkis. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. I'd never heard of it. It's extremely strange looking, but it has quite an interesting ability, and sooner or later I guess I'll have to make a video on it. So unsurprisingly we win there. Yeah, I realise now that the alpaca was a fail because of the platypus, so we're just going to get rid of both of them. And then we'll just find the level up on the Anubis manually. There's a crow, that will do. And then I think, am I going to take the level up now? Yes. I guess I can actually just sell the platypus, sell the duck, and then we can actually have the Nyala convert the beaver into another Nyala. Which, I mean, you can see what I mean by oyster mushroom being insanely strong, where it allows you to use these units that are pretty useless and convert them into something powerful. So again, we match with Flame with Anubis. He must have been grinding for something specific here, because I don't think this is the same team. And it's a Hedgehog with Mushroom. Not surprising, given that we've probably both had a poor start in terms of drawing or losing lots of early turns, but we had a 40-40 dog in reserve there. So we end up finding Sleipnir, which I think I'm going to take. I can't remember the exact squad I go for in this particular run. Obviously, Sleipnir doesn't do anything with Anubis, but I do find if you tend to deliberately force nothing but faint pets into your team with Anubis, it tends to result in fairly similar looking teams, because, you know, there are only so many high tier faint pets that are actually worthwhile taking. So an extremely large rabbit spam team. I can't remember if we're going to be strong enough here. The Hoopoe Bird actually activates the gorilla. Otherwise, I think it would have been one shot by the rabbit there. And we are actually going to win. So I could be wrong, but I think we only won there as a result of that team having the Hoopoe Bird. So now we're going to give the churros to the Anubis. And I wanted to test this because I wanted to know if the pets that were triggered by the Anubis would go before the other start of battle pets if we gave it churros. So another huge 50-50 team. And of course, actually here, the test isn't going to work because the Nyala is turning the Sleipnir into another Nyala with the oyster mushroom. And again, the gorilla is going to do incredible stuff and earn us a tie. Yep, again, that was the coconut saving us. So I think I need to just give the Nyala anything other than oyster mushroom to be able to see this in action. Essentially what I want to do is for the Sleipnir to get all the mammoth buffs before its ability goes off, because getting extra attack from the mammoth stats will increase the amount of mana that it gives out. I think, yeah, initially I was considering getting rid of the Sleipnir and putting something else in, but I think we're going to test this out. And I'm actually going to give the Nyala pineapple here, I think, just to make sure that the Sleipnir doesn't get transformed. And although it seems initially like that would be a complete waste, actually once the Sleipnir gets to level 2, the pineapple will boost the mana damage from the Nyala. So fairly standard looking summon team here. Although they don't have turkey, they do have tiger plus eagle plus mushroom. So they're going to summon a lot of stuff here. They end up getting double boar, but then thankfully the unit at the front is a tiger, which isn't going to do anything. And again, we have the very large retriever in the back. So I think I'm going to get the Sleipnir to level 2 here, and we will actually get to see the Nyala mana snipe for 2 extra damage. And we'll freeze the gorilla, although we don't really need it at this point since we have the gingerbread. And the mammoth buff does go first. The Sleipnir gets the extra attack, resulting in the 2 10 damage mana snipes. Multiple hydras on this team, although I don't think it's going to be good enough. Yep, there we go, the 12 damage mana snipe from the Nyala. I think that's such a fun and interesting mechanic to be able to buff the mana damage like that. So here we'll look at some of the other runs I had. These were all very close to the same session for recording purposes. So here we're on 9, and this was an early level 3 leopard. And I was trying to get the coconut crab achievement at the same time. So I think I'm going to feed the leopard here and then sell the T-Rex, because it works on start of turn now, so we won't actually get any buffs unless it's a tie. And then I take the crow, because it's going to be converted into a deer by the oyster mushroom. And then we face this summon team. I've actually been facing this person a lot, and they're playing mushroom flea every time, which is extremely frustrating when you have teams that depend on equipment. We lose the powered up coconut from the coconut crab. And they end up with the 48-48 retriever. And I don't think our summon units are going to be able to do enough damage. Yep. So I was quite shocked there to end up losing. I mean, when you have a leopard doing that much damage to a summon team, you expect to win. But of course, it's custom packs, and that's just not the way it goes. So this is an interesting one. This is level 3 Lion. Now Lion was moved up to tier 6, which means you can actually take tier 5s now. So we've got Lion plus 4 tier 5s. And we end up facing this elephant blowfish with level 3 skunk. And of course, you expect that you're going to lose against a team like this. The Nyala pops out of the beluga, and the double stake is actually going to do us in. Incredibly unfortunate to lose there. And actually, I went and tried to check this in SAP Calculator, but unfortunately it no longer works. And so I had to go into versus mode to try and simulate this. Now, the stats here aren't exactly the same, but it actually doesn't matter at all. The only thing we need to check is the order of the feints, because the beluga and the stonefish both have 9 attack. And so it's actually a complete 50-50 on which one goes first. And I was pretty suspicious that I probably had a 50-50 chance to win or lose in the actual game itself, and this confirms it, because if the stonefish goes first, the blowfish doesn't get to fire back and kill the Nyala, and we actually win. So sometimes those salty suspicions are actually correct.